Greetings, people of the United Kingdom. We are Anonymous Family Army. We are here to expose the corruption of the secret family courts. We seek justice for thousands of children stolen and sold by the SS every year. In the UK, parent victims of secret family courts frequently have their newborn babies and young children taken into care for risk of emotional abuse, or one sole instance of a superficial bruise, burn, or cut. They are then jailed if they protest publicly that they have committed no crime, and are being punished only for what someone thinks they might do in the future. Parents have no chance of resisting when legal aid lawyers inevitably advise parents to go along with social services and not oppose interim care orders. Children are likely to suffer far more abuse, both physical and emotional, in care than with their parents, as nearly half end up either in prison or as prostitutes, and hundreds disappear never to be seen again. The older children have their mobile phones and laptops confiscated, so letters and phone calls to families are prevented in order to isolate these children in care and stop them communicating with friends and relatives. Murderers and rapists are allowed better treatment than this. Conversation and contact with parents is strictly censored so that no mention of the court case or coming home is allowed, otherwise contact is stopped. Hundreds of babies, needed to top up official local authority adoption scorecards, are sent for adoption by strangers against the will of their parents, forced adoption, and often lose contact for the rest of their lives, not only with their parents, grandparents, and other relatives, but also with their siblings. Mothers who love and have never harmed their children, but who speak to them or even send them a birthday card, in defiance of a court order, have been jailed for up to 3 years. In cases of father versus mother, the SS will often take one side, and persuade the judge to condemn the losing parent to having no contact of any kind, with prison being the punishment if a single word, email or phone call is exchanged between parent and child.
A woman jailed for waving to her children across the street. A mother in court over sending her 8-year-old son a birthday card. They may sound like surreal soundbites from a totalitarian state, but actually they're headlines from the UK. Christopher Booker is an investigative journalist who's looked into what he calls forced adoption.
I had a case the other day where a mother was about to deliver her child in a hospital, and 5 policemen and 2 social workers came into the delivery room to seize that child. 5 policemen with a mother who is helpless lying there giving birth to her baby. I mean, you can't believe such things are happening.
This family is now a happy one, but it was once torn apart, and anger remains at the actions of social services. Little Constancia's elder sister was taken into state care aged just 4 months, and social workers wanted to take Constancia too at birth.
I did think my daughter would come back to us after a time, but she ended up being put up for adoption about 3 years ago. My daughter was about to come back to us when a psychologist came forward and diagnosed us as paranoid, depressed, and he used a term remote. And on the basis of that, it was harder to get my daughter back.
Although that diagnosis was refuted by other doctors, it took John Fowler 5 years to get his daughter back. She was taken on evidence from his 11-year-old stepson, who accused John and his wife of hitting their children, something they deny.
I wouldn't say I was a brilliant stepfather. There was problems in the house, but I didn't think it merited taking my daughter into care, you know, and putting them into care themselves.
Christopher Booker says there are hundreds, possibly thousands of cases a year in which children are wrongly taken, and he's suspicious about the motives.
There is a very considerable amount of money to be made for if you're an adoptive parent. You take in one of these children, or you're a foster carer, you can get £400 a week for each child, which is, if you have 2 or 3 adopted children, it's a hell of a lot of money.
It's a process that's shrouded in secrecy by the law, and social services refuse to discuss individual cases. But they do say that once a child is in care, the priority is to have them adopted as soon as possible. That emphasis led to John Fowler's daughter being advertised in a local newspaper like these, a practice that's become commonplace.
Anonymous believe the remedy is simple. The family courts should be governed by the same rules of procedure as the criminal courts. No punishment without crime. Innocent until proved guilty. No hearsay admitted, except under exceptional circumstances. The right to call witnesses, including children, and experts for a second opinion. Hearings by jury in the most serious cases. And the final abolition of forced adoption. Recently, however, the National Fostering Agency, founded by social workers a few years ago, and one of many such agencies responsible for recruiting fosterers and adoptive parents, was sold for £130 million. Social workers, lawyers, guardians, experts, and judges. Anonymous believe the system is corrupt, it is flawed and prejudiced towards the parents. We stand against such barbaric and cruel governments who seek to benefit from selling our children into slavery and abuse for monetary gain. We stand on the side of the oppressed, we feel their pain, their anger and their hopelessness. Anonymous welcomes such parents of the stolen children to come forward and join our dedicated team, the Anonymous Family Army, who protest to draw attention to such abuses and corruption within the UK. We, along with fathers and mothers for justice, take the fight to the top level. We protest outside of Parliament, outside of number 10 Downing Street, and outside of secret family courts. We have no fear, we seek to bring justice to the tens of thousands of children stolen and sold to the system.
Oh, Mr. Cameron, I came here to London. I hoped you might have the decency to come out and see some of us people, but you haven't. We've written to you countless times. Why don't you have an investigation into the crimes committed by social services? They're a disgrace, and you are permitting it. That's enough for today.
Stop social engineering! Arrest the corrupt judges! Perjury in the family law courts! Perverting the course of justice in the family law courts. We fought wars to stop social engineering.
Hey guys, how many tourist children are you going to take away from their parents while they're visiting? Go on, give us your target number. How many of these beautiful visiting children are not going home? Go on, in your dirty secret little room. You take them away. Foreign parents can't complain, can they? No! So you take their children and you sell them. What's your target number, old boy? 6. Yeah, Dave. What does risk of emotional harm actually mean? There's no definition. You've taken 70,000 children. What's wrong with you, you nonce?
Social engineering in the family law courts. Criminality in the family law courts.
Yeah, Dave. What do you keep taking to soldiers' children when they come back from Afghanistan? 6,000 you've taken now. Duty does not equal violence. Give them kids back, mate. When you come back from Afghanistan, they're going to take your children for violence there. 6,000 so far. Wake up, soldier boy. How many tourist children are you going to take today, Dave? How many kids are not going home with their parents to foreign lands? What's your target number, geezer? How many children are you going to take from foreign parents this holiday, Dave? I want a number, please. You're doing it all the time in your dirty, secret little rooms. Come on, come out and play, Dave. Terrorism, terrorism, Al-Qaeda, terrorism, family courts.
Does your mum know you're here?
I don't know, I must be without permission, you're alright.
Went for a little bit of help after having given birth, and I took a baby last week.
We are Anonymous Family Army. We are Legion. We do not forgive the system. We do not forget the corruption. The SS. You will expect us.